Over to Ukraine now, where advanced weapons supplied by the U.S. have arrived and may already be making a difference on the battlefield. Meanwhile, Russian forces are pushing forward, looking to take control of key cities in the Donbas region. Foreign correspondent James Longman has the latest.
A special inside look at the new U.S. weapons now arriving in Ukraine.
HIMARS are some of Ukraine's most highly valued weapons. They're terrified, really, of the Russians finding out where they are, so we've been taking them to this secret location.
In the wide open spaces of this vast country, Ukrainian forces use these woods for cover.
These are the rockets being loaded onto the U.S. HIMARS high-mobility artillery rocket systems. These are the weapons that Ukraine says are making all the difference in its war for the very simple reason that they fire further than anything Ukraine currently has in its artillery. The other important detail is that they're truck-mounted, which means once they're fired, these guys can move.
We can use them to find targets in Russian-controlled territory that no other weapon can get to. This HIMARS commander tells me. We've hit command centers and ammunition stores. This, as video circulating online, shows a massive explosion at a Russian ammunition depot in Donetsk, which Ukrainian officials say they struck on Sunday. Russian officials say US-provided HIMARS were used in this attack. The strike is part of the battle for the Donbass, where Russian forces have recently claimed control of Luhansk, the northern province of the region. The fighting there fierce as Ukrainian forces try to fend off Russia as it looks to take the rest of the Donbass. Key Ukrainian-held cities in the region coming under attack. In Slovyansk, Russian missiles destroying a local market. And the city of Kramatorsk facing intense shelling as Russian forces move in on Donetsk.
And the Ukrainians will be hoping that these HIMARS make them better able to defend Donetsk. That's the second half of the Donbass, which is now in Vladimir Putin's sights. Diane?
All right, James Longman in the Kharkiv region of Ukraine, thank you. And the UK Defense Ministry says a town in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine is likely to be the next key battleground in that fight for control of the Donbas region. Now, this comes after Russian forces gained control of a key city in the Luhansk region. Let's bring in ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy, along with ABC News contributor and former senior CIA field operative Darrell Blocker for more. Mick, what kind of an impact can these new weapon systems that are coming from the U.S. have on the battlefield, and why now?
Well, Diane, they can have a substantial impact. This has become a war of attrition out in the Donbass, and the only way for the Ukrainians to fight that, since they're vastly outnumbered, is by precision fires and maneuver. And HIMARS allows them to do that precision fires. And not only hitting the target that they're going for, but being outside of the effective range of Russian artillery, which makes them survivable. And that's what they really need at this point.
Darrell, Russian forces are expected to focus on the Donetsk region now. How do you expect that fight to play out? Does one side have a particular advantage there?
I don't think one side has an advantage over the other, but we need to understand that Russia has been in this area since 2014, which means they have spies in the area, which means they have supporters in the area. So I would give it a 50-50 between the two of them.
And Mick, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is expected to push G20 leaders to put pressure on Russia and also warn China again not to support Russia's military. How crucial is that international pressure right now?
Very crucial. Right now, there is an international shortage of all Soviet/Russian-made weapons and munitions. We are trying to scour the earth to try to help the Ukrainians, who are still more proficient in those systems. And China can provide a lot of those to Russia. Russia's having a hard time keeping up with their own. So just from a simple logistics point of view, substantial. And of course, China buys a lot of oil and gas from Russia. The more we can cut that off, the more pressure we can put on the Russian economy and therefore the Russian leadership.
And Darrell, Vladimir Putin announced an operational pause for Russian troops, he says, to rest and regain strength. Do you think there's any more to that pause? And even if not, how crucial is it? How long could it last?
There is absolutely something to that. And hopefully it will last as a truce, as the beginning of a peace, the peace talks. I don't think that's the case. Putin has a reason for doing this. I think the troops are continuing to push back. I think the command structure is beginning to fall apart. They're losing a lot of their senior leaders. And Putin recognizes that controlling or taking over areas that he's essentially been in for 8 years isn't that impressive to the world, and certainly not to NATO and those who wish to join NATO.
So maybe there's a little more to this than just giving troops a break. And Mick, I want to look back at the international sphere because we have Finland and Sweden just completed negotiations in terms of them joining NATO. So what are the next steps there and how significant is this and the timing of it?
So, Diane, now that everyone in NATO has cleared the passage of Sweden and Finland into NATO, and that wasn't an issue specifically when it came to Turkey, but those issues have been resolved. So now it's a process. And because Sweden and Finland have already been very integrated, especially Finland, into NATO or to Europe's defense forces, it should not take that long to make sure that they're fully compatible militarily. And that's what the big step is, to make sure that they can adequately fit into the NATO security umbrella. Finland and Sweden have always built their militaries out to be able to do that. So this is a process that will happen. And of course, it just shows just how bad of a strategic mistake this was by President Putin, who undertook this entire action, according to him, because of his concern about NATO on its border. And now he has NATO 800 miles on its border that it didn't have prior to its decision to invade.
All right, Mick Mulroy, Darrell Blocker, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.